Tonight on the All Things Nerd podcast, we talk about Avengers Endgame trailer number 2, reactions and breakdown. We're also going to be talking about how Alien is celebrating its 40th anniversary by helping out those new up-and-coming creators, which is kind of cool once we get into it. And James Gunn's got a very full plate coming up, and that's what we're going to talk about as well. With that being said, let's get on to the show. Hello to all the geek enthusiasts and nerd aficionados. Mess 5150 here with another All Things Nerd podcast, the podcast that dives into the nerd news, the geek news, the pop culture news, and we have a lot of fun along the way. This is Season 3, Episode 11. We are so glad that you're here to join us. I am your host, Mess 5150. As always here, this podcast is brought to you by Malice-Corp.com. That's Malice-Corp.com. You can go there and listen to any of our previous podcasts or check out the other podcasts that we do on the entire Malice Corp family network. With that, let's talk about who's here on the cast. You got me, Mess5150. We also, very small cast tonight, but it's a powerful packed punch cast. We have Icy Zorro back with us this week. How are you, sir?
I like being described as powerful. That works. I'm good.
Jack's in our chat room already. He is our producer. He doesn't want to know what's in my eye. Yeah, so. and Super, who is also here on the cast, has just subscribed for 8 months on a 1-month streak to the channel.
I know. Somehow I missed a month. I don't know. What happened? I don't know.
If you are watching this on Twitch, you can also subscribe if you want to help us out. If you don't want to help us out, but meaning you don't want to actually put any money towards us, if you have Twitch Prime, that means you can, Amazon Prime, that means you can click the little heart above, subscribe to us, and it's free to you, but you kick back a little bit to us to help us get things going a little bit better here. And welcome Red Meepaw into the channel as well. Speaking, since we said that, Super, how are you?
It's been a little bit of a long week for me, but otherwise I'm bouncing back. I'm doing okay, and I got my Vegas Con coming up, and I'm starting to buy all my props. I've been talking with Icy on the side. I've been telling him what I got planned for the big 2 ops with Jensen and Misha and Jared and Misha, and they're going to be good. I'll show them when we get back from Vegas, and I'll show you the ops because they're going to be spectacular.
Yeah, just the list of prices for different ops with different people blew my mind.
I'm trying not to think about how much I spent on them because it's going to make my head hurt, but they're going to be epic. They're going to be awesome.
Is Misha going to squeeze your head like a grape again? And
no,
odd-looking picture?
We've got a Mardi Gras theme planned for the Jensen Misha one since he was the king of the Bacchus parade. We've got crowns. And then as I was telling IC, there's a spoof in the gag reel from last season where Jared comes out anytime someone says the word ball handler. Jared will pop out from behind the scenes and just be like, "What's up?" Because that's what he does on set. And so I've got a picture of it printed out with the quote, ball handler, "Hey, what's up?" And I've got giant strings basically with balls on them, and we're gonna have them play with the balls.
See, now I'm picturing a Crocodile Dundee like necklace.
Playing with your balls in public, that would be fantastic. It's gonna be hilarious.
See, now you said you've got a big string with a bunch of balls on it. Now I'm picturing like a Crocodile Dundee style necklace where you had all the teeth on it, but balls instead.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of just taking a music beat, cutting this little conversation we just had with just balls. How many times balls was said with the music beat.
Exactly.
Oh God.
I'm curious as to why that's the thing on set. How often do they have to say ball handlers?
So yeah.
Not often, but the amount of times that Jared gets touchy is quite often. That's how you know you're initiated, when your good places get touched.
I love that if I cut this together, it will start out with Super Hoovian saying, "I got my props," and balls, balls, balls.
Like
Just
the Badger,
edit me
Badger,
over
Badger song.
Jim Beaver.
Yeah.
That's his catchphrase on the show. Just edit me over Jim Beaver. It'll be hilarious.
Oh God. Okay, this has gone weird really quick.
We went sideways real quick.
Yeah. Jack says in the chat room that is a different cast. So, and get a bearded master joined us in the chat room as well. Welcome, sir. Yeah, so let's get into it. We like to talk about what we've been geeking out on for the last week. Clearly, Super has been geeking out on getting ready for Vegas Con, the Supernatural convention in Vegas. What about you, IC? What have you been geeking out on?
Oh, dude, I sat down and binged straight through all 3 seasons of This Is Us because I like to cry, and that did the job. Man, that show was good. Yeah, it was perfect. I finished my last streamed my last episode right before the new one came on, like 10 minutes later. About perfect timing.
Oh, nice.
That is a wonderful show.
Yeah, I watched halfway through the first season, and then I moved on to something else. It's a good show, but I got
It's a sad show.
Yeah, it's
in the same spiritual vein as Parenthood, and it just like you
Very
have
much.
to get
which makes it
emotionally
very
invested.
painful to binge.
It's very hard to binge. I'm actually really surprised you got through all 3 seasons without taking a break, because I had to take a break after season 1. Season 2 was about halfway through, and I'm like, no, I got to take a break. I got to watch some comedy, and then I jumped back into it. And I'm back on the week to week because it's a monster, emotional wise.
They're so good at setting up cliffhangers. You know, I got to the end of season 1, and it was like, wait a minute, I know that there's something terrible around the corner. Now I have to watch that one.
I know there's something terrible coming, so I have to see the terrible thing.
Absolutely. It's like the monster at the end of this book.
It kind of is. Yeah, it kind of is. Like, you just can't stop watching. Your brain tells you, okay, you've cried enough. The Kleenex are gone. Turn off the TV. And then you just start the next episode.
Jack says, I've been nerding out on Joe Abercrombie's book, The Heroes. I'm glad it's Joe Abercrombie and not Abercrombie and Finch's clothing line. So, yeah. So, although, could you see Jack like modeling Abercrombie?
I was just thinking, standing shirtless outside the front door. Yeah,
just the different
just smoking, hacking up a lung.
And nobody knows what. Well, if you go back to really old podcasts, you'll see what Jack looks like, and then you can
about the terrible music being played
with us. Getting angry every time we say Nick Cage, all that type of stuff. So, yeah.
Why did you do that?
Well, it made sense. It wasn't just saying it to say it. It was to drop. My geek out continues as it was last week. Supernatural. I started it Wednesday of last week. I'm in the episode 9 of season 4 right now.
Dang, you are like blowing through it.
Yeah. So, good show. Good show. I think season 3 is where it figures out what it is.
Yeah.
I see the parallels of people comparing it to X-Files in the first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
The third is where they really the actors start becoming their own character.
Yeah. Their identities really take over.
Yeah. And then you start getting what Supernatural's known for, with the more play on previous genres in the episodes, where you get the like Groundhog's Day episode. You get the
I love that episode.
That episode was my favorite so far.
Yeah.
That's by far my favorite episode so far. So
Richard Speight Jr. is fantastic.
Richard, yeah, he is.
The black and white movie monster episode,
Yes.
So yeah, I enjoy what they're doing with that aspect. I will say the Yellow Fever episode had me laughing my ass off for the after credit scene, the outtake of him doing Eye of the Tiger on the car.
Yes.
So
that one and the scream, that cat scream is my ringtone. And boy, does it scare you in the middle of the night. When it goes off, it'll just be like, ah! And I'm like, ooh.
So now what I'm waiting to get into with the show is for Castiel to become more likable. Because right now,
it takes.
He's not a likable character when he first comes in.
Yeah, he is. And he's supposed to be, I think, when you see his evolution go by, but you'll start to see the changes towards the end of season 4 and then season 5, where he really takes over that sarcasm, the dry, very dry wit, dry humor that Misha brings to the role.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm geeking out on. That's probably what I'll be geeking out on next week because there's a lot left.
You have 10 seasons left to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I should be up to, if I go on the current pace, I should be up to about season 7 or 8 by next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm taking that binge master title from Beacon.
You are. You are.
But that's it. That's what we've been geeking out on. Let us know if you're watching this in the comments below on YouTube, what you are geeking out on, what type of stuff that you'd like to let other people know is out there that you have an interest in so that we can check it out and we can thank you for letting us know about it and turning us on to the stuff. So with that, I'm going to give a quick little recap of what's going on in the nerd fight. We only have 2 people here that are actually part of the Nerd Fight picks and our producer, Jack. So we're not going to do an argument on the Nerd Fight this week, but you can just go vote and decide a winner. The Nerd Fight is in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. That's this Sunday, right? And it was a play on doing something with green. So it's the best green item in nerd, geek, or pop culture. The choices are Super chose Boba Fett's helmet. I chose Green Lantern's ring. Masonic Vader, who was not able to make the cast this week, chose the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo. And Jack chose Kryptonite. And I think, is that it?
Emerald City?
Oh, and then Nudie Rudy chose Emerald City. So you can vote on what you think is the best green item from nerd, geek, and pop culture. Have fun with it. Debate it on the comments in the actual article. The article is on malice-corp.com. You can vote every 10 hours and decide a winner. It's basically going to set up who picks first and who picks last for the next nerd fight that we come up with.
And welcome. Yeah, Fuel Trazi and Turbo Comics in the chat as well. Fuel Trazi says he's been binging Breaking Bad, which is absolutely something that I did back in the day as well.
And Turbo Comics agrees with my pick that Green Lantern's ring is greatest overall. Come on.
I agree. It's only limited by your imagination.
Jack says there is no fight. Kryptonite is the best because it will eventually kill Superman. Now, I had fun with this. What if let's throw a twist on the green. What if the Emerald City is not actually emerald, but it's a bunch of asteroids they found that look like emerald, so it's the Kryptonite City, so we get Superman there and he gets dead immediately.
That would be pretty funny.
Ooh, that is the Fortress of Solitude. Whoops.
And Turbo Comics says, without Soups, we wouldn't have Hank Henshaw, who is one of the best villains ever. Okay. I agree. So, yeah, that's it. Go vote. Have fun with it. Tell others about it. Tweet it out. Send it up on Facebook. We're having a nice little conversation about what is the best green item on Facebook at the groups for All Things Nerd Podcast. Just look it up, All Things Nerd on Facebook. And yeah, hope you can join us there and you can be a part of the group. So let's get into the main portion of the show, which is the nerd news. The first subject is the trailer that came out this week, the big drop that happened. And
yeah, at 8 o'clock on a Thursday morning. Weird.
We got the Avengers Endgame trailer 2, which is the first full trailer that we got. As always, what we like to do here first, because we love the way that she tells us what's going on in the trailer. Super, tell us what happened in the Avengers Endgame trailer.
Okay, first off, let me just say that if you blink at the wrong time in that trailer, you will literally miss. I was so excited in that stupid trailer. I thought that we didn't know the fate of Iron Man. I'm like, perfect. He's on the ship. We don't know if he makes it off. I mean, clearly, like the back of our mind, we know he kind of makes it off. So I like yawned or blinked or something. And I went on the chat and I'm like, yes, we don't know his fate. They did something right. The trailer didn't blow it. And then everyone was like,
and then I immediately ruined it for you.
In his suit. And I'm like, dang it. So I went back and I rewatched it and I was so crushed.
Anything else happened in the trailer? Or is that all that stood out to
No,
you?
so yeah, like
Ooh.
God, what else did happen? That disappointment
The-
crushed me.
Carol Danvers and
oh,
Thor at the end was my favorite part.
You saw Captain Marvel. She popped up. She has
Mhm.
lipstick. Woo! Everyone freak out. If you've been keeping up with the internet.
Oh, and welcome Ruru2 into the chat room.
Must have missed that part. Yeah, no, Thor, trying to freak her out by summoning the new axe and her just staring him down. That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Turbo Comics says other good green items: ambush bug, Martian Manhunter's sexy bits, and Green Goblin's really bad rash.
Oh my God. Oh, Green Goblin. I didn't even think of that.
That is so great.
Martian Manhunter. That's
Oh, okay.
John Jones.
Yeah, so okay, so going into the trailer, it was really cool. It was stylistic with what was going on. I'm going to give a quick little rundown of kind of what happened in the trailer. It opened up with showing us scenes from early Iron Man, then transitioned over to early scenes from Captain America, then gave us early scenes of Thor. Then you got a little bit into the actual story for Avengers Endgame, showing us how everybody's kind of reacting to what's going on. More of the tie-ins with Hawkeye and where he's turning, and then you get that setup of what they're going to do to try and fix everything, and then a quick little glimpse of Captain Marvel and Thor meeting. That's the gist of the trailer, but breaking it down even more, what did you guys, there was little like things that were really kind of mixed in there. The biggest one that I saw is all the throwback scenes, all the stuff looking at the past, showing us what's happened already. It was gray and white, but red was accentuated.
Yeah.
On it. That was the only color you could see.
Yeah, it was like Thor's cape and
Scarlet Witch's dress, right?
yeah, Cap's gloves.
Falcon's glasses. I mean,
Yeah.
the flag. The only when he was carrying her
Peggy Carter.
Yeah, the flag, the red of the flag. I mean, like it was only red was all you could see. That was the only thing that got the full color.
Huh.
So
yeah, the speculation, of course, is that it's gonna have to do something with the was that the Reality Stone? Yeah, the red and red.
That's where the speculation comes from, is that it does have something to do with the Reality Stone. But I'm wondering if it's just a stylistic choice.
It did look really cool.
Punches. I mean, red is a powerful punch.
Yeah. But okay, so going beyond that, I feel that what this is doing, like they said, the Russos said this is going to be a celebration of the 11 years of Marvel history in these movies. Clearly at the end of this film, we are losing 1, 2, or 3 people, and that's going to be Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, the people that kicked this off. No, Black Widow's getting her own movie, so
well, that's true. Yeah, keep forgetting about
that. I mean,
yeah, Robert Downey Jr. has made enough money. He doesn't need to do this anymore.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I mean, just some of the stuff that I was looking through today, like depending on whether or not you count the Ed Norton Hulk, there have been either 20 or 21 movies in this franchise so far.
Yeah, and Ruud says it's just a flashback of the trailer. I don't think any of those black and red scenes are in the Endgame movie. I don't think they will be either, but
no.
I think it's interesting that they took that stylistic choice with it. Is what I'm saying. Is either A, there's an Easter egg in that factor of showing the red on that, or it is just a really cool stylistic, passionate choice. Red's passion.
Yeah.
I don't
know. Well, I don't know. Red seems to be an underlying color in all of their costumes. Maybe. I mean, you got Iron Man. I think, doesn't everyone have some red on them except maybe Thor? I mean, Cap's got red.
Thor's got the red cape.
The red cape. Okay, so he's got the red cape. The Scarlet Witch. Vision was red. Face.
Dude, how crazy with that? Jack Malice brings up Scarlet Witch. He says Scarlet Witch, but he just made me think of something. It calls out to her being the key. How crazy would that be if they do pull like the House of M storyline, where Scarlet Witch is the one that made everything happen because of her mental powers, and
that would be awesome.
Ooh, they give us
That
a
would be
twist to
awesome.
make us think it's time travel, and it turns out that Scarlet Witch with her manipulating mind games would
That
be
would be
awesome. Oh my god,
would be
I
awesome.
want that now.
Well, and yeah, he says her real power is to screw with reality.
Mhm.
And again, reading I was doing today, I don't know if everybody's seen Captain Marvel or not. I'm not going to give any major spoilers, but her power is sort of interlinked with one of the Infinity Stones, and so is Scarlet Witch's. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they got their power from the Reality Stone. So,
Or what if
interesting.
her destroying it? I don't know. This could be a real long shot, but you know, she did destroy the Infinity Stone before he were around time. So what if somehow she became linked with it and she can manipulate things from the inside?
True.
I don't know. It's a twist.
Bearded Bastard says Feige came out today and said Captain Marvel will be taking over the MCU after Avengers 4, so guarantee we're losing most of the original 6. Yeah, because they haven't really shown us anything with Hulk in the trailer. You just get one screen grab of, and they did bring up the point in the chat room as well that remember there could be scenes in this trailer that don't end up in the film. Remember we saw Hulk rushing with everybody to attack Thanos, and that scene never appeared in Infinity War. So
yeah, and I've also people have been saying that they basically only use scenes for the first 15 to 20 movies.
That's what the Russos guaranteed is everything that is in this trailer is only in the first 15 to 20 minutes.
Which I think is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
So
I'm fine with that.
But you know, there's another thing in the trailer. They're all walking in the matching suits, which the theory is that they're so that they can go to the quantum realm. And
that's what I got immediately from it. They all have matching suits. Jack asked me, how do I say Thanos? Thanos, right?
You said Thanos earlier.
Yeah, whatever. I know it's Thanos, but it's however I pronounce things. But yeah, when they're all wearing the exact matching suits with the red in them, which could be where that little Easter egg is pointing to. That's the exact thought I got. Is they're the suits to help them go into the quantum realm so that they can go back in time and fix this, because we've seen leaked photos of them redoing the fight in New York, so we're assuming they're going back in time.
Really?
Assumption. So
yeah,
go to the quantum realm. Scotland doesn't know how to work with that tech. Well, he apparently learns it because he gets back out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other thing that was both cool and not cool about the trailers. They spoiled Ant-Man's return coming back, and it's like, so
didn't we see that somewhere else earlier?
The past trailer you saw that he came back.
Past trailer, yeah, they show him knocking at the door like, hello, it's me, I was in Germany, I shrink, I get big, let me in.
Did you guys, and this could be me just looking at it even more so, the scene where Ant-Man jumps on like a handle and then gets propelled.
It was a pencil, I think. Yeah.
Was it a pencil? Okay, because I was like, is that the bottom of Mjolnir? Is that the hand the?
Oh, dude!
I was like, how cool would that be if all of a sudden Scott Lang could make that thing move?
Yeah,
like
that would be awesome.
It would be like, what?
Well, and I wonder because Mjolnir's crushed now. Does his new have the same property? That'd be interesting.
Well, Stormbringer apparently has the same properties because he called it to him.
Yeah.
Like Mjolnir.
Yeah, actually, in the scene with Thor and Carol, I kind of expected her to reach out and grab it before it got to him. I thought that would have been cool.
Okay, I understand what Ruutu is saying in the chat room now about how Scott wouldn't know how to work with that tech. He wouldn't know how to make those outfits. So maybe Rocket Raccoon builds their suits. I would think seeing as
Iron Man.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I would think it would be
well, because Stark and Pym worked together in the past, right? Maybe Howard Stark and Hank Pym.
Yeah, I would think it would be Tony and Bruce would figure out how to make based off of like.
Yeah, they'll probably just reverse engineer his suit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Bearded Master says. They also have Stark, Banner, and Captain Marvel that could probably figure out the QR by looking at Pym's work.
Yeah.
So, they're having so much fun in the chat room. Mjolnir had Odin's enchantment on it. I don't think Stormbringer has the enchantment.
That's a good point too. But maybe I don't know. He could have maybe gotten it blessed in between if there's a time gap.
And
Which
Polyfuse jumps in the chat room with, "What about Black Panther tech?" Yeah.
lot of
Siri, or what's her name?
Oh,
knowledge.
the theories are flying. The theories.
Yeah, and this is why I'm glad they only gave us stuff from the first 15 to 20 minutes, because if they gave us stuff from later in the movie, we could just go on it forever.
So there's two things that are thrown in that trailer that show you time jump wise between beginning towards when things start happening. Haircuts. The scene with Captain Marvel and Thor has Black Widow in it. She's got the short blonde bob in that scene. The rest of the time that you see her in the trailer with what we're assuming
her hair is about a year longer.
Yeah, it's grown red. The yellow is at the end. She's grown out the yellow. We're assuming it's going to be Ronin. That Hawkeye's going to be
gone. He's literally in Japan when she finds him.
Yeah. So with that being said, if it's in the first 15 minutes, and we know they get right into like the time travel aspect of it or whatever it is pretty quickly, because they get Stark back pretty quickly, I'm assuming then, because if that's only stuff from 15. So
I mean, I guess so.
And Rurutu says, "Thank God Marvel marketing isn't Sony." Why? Because they leaked the entire story already to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somebody has Tom Holland locked up in a closet somewhere with duct tape on his mouth.
And I agree, Turbo. Jack brings up that Stormbreaker in the comics is Beta Ray Bill's weapon, not Thor's. And Turbo responds with, "We love you, Beta Ray Bill." And I want Beta Ray. I want to see Beta Ray in these movies. Hopefully someday, because I love Beta Ray Bill. Yeah. So, with that, I mean, on the trailer, any other theories that you guys have? Where would you grade it out of 10 on how well they did?
I think it was an 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
If they, I wish that the one thing that I wish that they hadn't done was I wish they hadn't spoiled Tony's return. I didn't want to know that. I knew he was going to get rescued because you knew he was going to have a part to play, but I would have liked to have not known, especially because of the fact that you say it's the first 15 minutes of the movie.
That's what they're saying.
Like, they say. So if they had just edited him out of that walk-in scene, it would have left me wondering.
Well, so the other thing is, Gamora is also in that scene.
Yes.
And yeah, exactly.
So they're full-fledged member now, and she and Tony were the only two left alive on.
You mean Nebula, not Gamora?
Yeah, Nebula.
Right, Nebula. Yeah.
Yeah, because Gamora. So that Gamora
is
dead. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just seeing Nebula walking with them, you're like, well, she's clearly came back with Tony. So.
Yeah. So we're assuming that she must be the one that rescues him. Maybe that was Tony's ship she was on when you see her do the charge, that yell in the charge. So
another thing that was noticed that was cool that I didn't notice until I looked deeper into it. Hawkeye Ronin
training his daughter.
Well, he's training his daughter, or the girl that ends up becoming Hawkeye. We're assuming it's his daughter because that's what goes better with it. But in one of the scenes where you see him, looks like he's getting ready to fight or something, right before you see Black Widow training, he's got Black Widow's Widow Bite as one of his weapons.
Oh,
which is kind of cool. So I didn't see that until I looked deeper into it. The other thing is, I'm wondering if they go back in time, how far they go back, because the Cap fighting scene they show at the end, towards the end of the trailer, looks like his old outfit.
Did
the leather helmet and everything.
Yeah. Which
you think they go back all the way?
I think here's the thing. To me, the perfect ending for Cap, if Chris Evans is done, they're done using him. The perfect ending for him, because they even play Peggy Carter's thing about starting over and the perfect ending for him is that he gets to go back in time, he gets to live that life with Peggy Carter, and he gets to die. He gets to live to old age with her. I think that would be the best way to do it, as opposed to just killing him off as sacrifice himself.
Which of course is where we get into problems with time travel, because then all kinds of things change as ripple effects of that. I don't know. Yeah. I like that idea though. Yeah.
So, yeah. So They probably hear the signal. I'm reading a couple of these chat. They probably hear the signal. Captain Marvel flies out there and rescues both of them. Oh, that makes sense.
That would make sense.
That makes sense on how you get Tony and Nebula.
back.
Is Captain Marvel saves them. Yeah, there you go.
She's pretty.
And Bearded Master said he used
Easy.
that same suit in Winter Soldier, the old suit. So
I'm just sad Cap's beard is gone.
yeah, Turbo says hoping
there's another sign of time travel.
Hoping they use the time travel aspect sparingly. Yeah, I don't want it to be like, hey, let's where we're going, we don't need roads because we can just keep jumping back.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it. That's the breakdown of the trailer. If you guys enjoyed the trailer, let us know in the comments, or tweet at us at All Nerd Podcast and let us know what your thoughts were on the trailer and where you rate it out of 1 to 10. Moving on to the next big subject. So Alien has its 40th anniversary this year, and in preparation, starting next Friday to celebrate, they are actually going to be releasing on IGN.com, not a sponsor, weekly film shorts by up-and-coming creators that take place within Ridley Scott's Alien universe, just to kind of embrace the history. And I think that's really cool because not many times do you get something like this. You get fan films for like Star Wars and stuff, but you don't get where the actual production companies.
The closest analogy, or the closest thing I can think of to that is the Animatrix stuff, which was 9 little animated shorts, all in different styles by different writers and directors that fit within that universe, and that worked really well.
Fox describes them as from terrifying escapes to facehuggers and xenomorphs. These captivating shorts bring forth an exciting new narrative for fans while paying homage to the original.
That's cool.
Here's what they're about. So I'm going to read off the six that we're getting. We're getting Alien Alone. Hope, an abandoned crew member aboard the derelict chemical hauler Ontranto, has spent a year trying to keep her ship and herself alive as both slowly fall apart. After discovering hidden cargo, she risks it all to power up the broken ship in search of human life. This is written and directed by Noah Miller.
By the way, the descriptions of all these are very much in that universe. There's a lot of like space truckers and people stranded alone, and
yeah, very uplifting.
it's the feel-good movie of the summer.
Yeah.
Alien Containment. 4 survivors find themselves stranded aboard a small escape pod in deep space, trying to piece together the details around the outbreak that led to their ship's destruction. They find themselves unsure to trust whether or not one of them might be infected, which will be one of those cool stories of like, which one is the one that's got the alien in them, the xenomorph in them. This one is written and directed by Chris Reading. Alien Harvest. The surviving crew of a damaged deep space harvester have minutes to reach the emergency evacuation shuttle. A motion sensor is their only navigation tool, leading them to safety while a creature in the shadows terrorizes the crew. However, the greatest threat might have been hiding in plain sight all along. Bad Android, I'm assuming.
Again.
Directed by Benjamin Houdshell. Alien Night Shift.
It's Paul Reiser again.
I love his name. Alien Night Shift. That's just the aliens working overtime.
They would have for the money.
Xenomorphs clocking in and out. Like, how was your day, Frank?
Like the sheepdog and the wolf.
When a missing space trucker is discovered hungover and disoriented, his coworker suggests a nightcap as a remedy. Near closing time, they are reluctantly allowed inside the colony supply depot, where the trucker's condition worsens, leaving a young supply worker alone to take matter into her own hands.
That one sounds weird.
Written and directed by Aidan Bresnick.
Yeah, that one's not on IGN, it's on Pornhub.
Alien Ore. As a hardworking miner of a planet mining colony, Lorraine longs to make a better life of her daughter and grandchildren. When her shift uncovers the death of a fellow miner under mysterious circumstances, Lorraine is forced to choose between escape or defying management orders and facing her fears to fight for the safety of her family. Written and directed by the Spear Sisters.
Yeah, Brittany and Jamie Lynn, right? Now I want to see Britney Spears write and direct an Alien short.
Oh my god! I want to see the last survivor just start dancing in a Catholic school uniform. Xenomorphs.
Hilarious.
Oh, Alien specimen.
Crossroads crossed with alien. Awesome.
It's the night shift in Colony Greenhouse, and Julie, a botanist, does her best to contain suspicious soil samples that have triggered her sensitive lab dog. Despite her best efforts, the lab unexpectedly goes into full shutdown and she is trapped inside. Little does she know, an alien specimen has escaped the mysterious cargo, and a game of cat and mouse ensues as the creature searches for a host. So that tells me that's a face hugger when it's saying searching for a host.
Yeah.
So she's being chased by a face hugger. And that's directed by Kelsey Taylor.
But just, I mean, even in the descriptions of the plots, listen to this list of protagonists: an abandoned crew member, 4 survivors, their surviving crew of a damaged deep space harvester, a missing space trucker, a hardworking miner, and of course, a botanist. What?
Botanist.
The whole, I mean, it was, the franchise was created in the 70s, but it feels like the whole universe is just 70s working class people that would definitely be having a cup of Joe at a late night diner.
Turbo Comics is extremely excited, says that it's going to be sick. Oh God, Rurutu talking about the time travel for Avengers. There'll be blockbuster videos on every block. Rurutu says they should get Park Chan-wook to direct one. That would be cool. Speaking of awesome alien stuff, the Alien Isolation series is amazing, following Amanda Ripley. That's following the daughter. Yeah, they were talking about that new series too.
Well, and Jack says, with this many people running into aliens, how does not everyone know about them?
I know, right?
Very few survivors.
Not everybody is Ripley and can survive. So that's how. So yeah, I don't know. It's like the galaxy's overrun by them. It's the company, man. It's Weyland Yutani keeping it all under wraps so that nobody knows.
I blame Michael Fassbender.
But no, I like this. I like that in celebration of 40 years, they're like, hey, let's bring up people that are unknown that to make these short films that have that upcoming potential in the writing and directing class, and potentially these little shorts could end up launching a career, especially being that a 20th Century Fox putting it on. This has to launch some careers for new directors. And I think, how many are?
It's a good way to get your foot in the door directing wise.
Kelsey Taylor, Spears Sisters, Eden Besnick, Benjamin Housdale, Chris Reading, Noah Miller. We've got at least 2 are female directors, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
especially for horror.
Yeah. Well, suspense. I wouldn't put the original Alien into horror category. I mean, I guess
suspense is better.
Classified as horror.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Turbo Comics says Neil Blomkamp needs to be given the Alien film he was working on that was in pre-production. Yes, we've talked about this many times. I want the 2 Neil Blomkamp properties, the one that he's working on right now, which is the RoboCop one. I hope it's still going. Turbo says it's definitely horror, bro. I do not consider Jaws horror at all.
I don't either. I do not consider Jaws horror at all. Thriller, but not horror.
Well, and a lot of those are considered suspense just because the pacing of movies in the 70s was so different than it is now.
Are there other franchises that, when they hit those big landmarks, that you'd like to see kind of follow this same suit, where we get some new film creators or actors or whatever to make some shorts taking place in that universe?
Oh, dude, I think that would be awesome.
So, like, what?
I love the idea of it, but I've been running my brain around this all day, trying to figure out. Most of the time, when a film is considered part of a franchise, that's usually going to be a horror, and so many of those get ridiculous. Just with how many there's been, like 13 Jason movies. So having somebody direct a short in that world doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Matrix, like I said, they already kind of did that with Revolution or with the Animatrix. I've been trying to think, like, maybe Will Ferrell movies.
You could with his characters. I mean, he
make a bunch
ran around. I thought it would be funny to get some old John Hughes, because he was the big 80s guy.
So that would be interesting, yeah. But that's the thing, is John Hughes knew how to write the characters right. I mean, it was really hard to achieve what John Hughes did with it. That's why the characters were so impactful. That's why the stories were so. And I mean, there was even a documentary of people going to try and find John Hughes to ask him to make another movie because he had just gone into exile before he passed. Because nobody did hit the same,
Yeah. But that would be interesting. That would be something I would like to try to do spins on his characters in his world. I would love to see, if you had a recasting done, give me Rami Malek as Hannibal Lecter and give me some shorts of Hannibal Lecter in his time in the, institution or previous to the institution or whatever. Give me some. I think he would be a really good Hannibal Lecter.
Like Red Dragon era?
Yeah.
Just creepy Rami Malek.
Creepy Rami Malek.
I just watched Bohemian last night. It was great.
So good. So good.
I'm just trying to think of other movie franchises. Like, I mean, Tarantino is sort of his old thing, but you can't have anybody else direct Tarantino because then it wouldn't be Tarantino.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at my DVDs and trying to think of if there's one. I mean, I can
think of some stuff from like old, like, the old Gene Wilder movies.
I think
some shorts in the middle would be great.
I can think TV show wise, which became movie. I would love to see some shorts take place in the Firefly universe in Serenity.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that would be cool. Other characters that aren't,
Finally figure out what the hell is going on with the Blue Hand guys.
Yeah.
Ruru2 says Girl with Dragon Tattoo series. That'd be cool.
That would actually be cool.
Yeah. Great set of movies and books.
But if you just
now I want to see
Fassbender Alien movie, finish the trilogy. It's coming. The finish is coming. It's going to happen. If
they hadn't been coming out with the new Ghostbusters movie, I would have liked to have seen some Ghostbusters shorts with the original cast.
Wait. Turbo Comics says that the finish to the trilogy is RIP. Did it get canceled? Ooh, Jason Bourne, Ruru2, awesome. Get us some shorts in Jason Bourne.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see somebody with a radically different style direct an Anchorman short, like Ron Burgundy in 40s Noir.
Oh, that could be kind of fun.
But that wouldn't be doing up and comer. I mean, they're not casting any of the people that were originally in these films and stuff. It's all just taking place in that universe. It's like expanding that universe and giving us more stories.
Oh no! I just realized where I got that idea from, and now I'm gonna have to say it. I think I got the 40s Noir thing because I also watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse yesterday, and Nicolas Cage plays 40s Noir Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider Noir. Yeah. Is there a Nick Cage universe that you want to see?
Damn it.
Dude.
I believe that's called every movie ever.
Get some shorts from the B movie.
If I had one franchise he did, and it's not even a franchise, it was one movie, but I would take his character from Gone in 60 Seconds. And I would just want to see him and Andrew.
You mean Memphis Reigns?
Memphis Reigns, before he became retired. Him and,
Him and Sphinx out there stealing cars.
Let us know what movie universes you would like to see get their own shorts from up and coming new creators.
And of course, because I had to say the name in the comments, Jack Malice says, "Kill yourself." I see.
I'd like to see.
I'll get right on that.
Coming shorts celebrating the anniversary of Necromantic. That'd be cool. Yeah. So, moving on to our final conversation, our news piece of the week. It dropped today. Deadline reported it, so it is a confirmed thing. Everybody's running with it. James Gunn is back in charge of directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And we're not going to go into any of the stuff that happened before of why he wasn't directing. We don't want to talk about that. What I really want to focus on is Disney has said in response that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will not start production until after Suicide Squad 2 is done. So giving James Gunn the ability to still finish the contract he made with DC and direct Suicide Squad 2 and get it made. That's where I wanted to get kind of the thoughts. Is there too much on James Gunn's plate when he's doing the hero teams or team up films for?
Well, we talked about it before. That's why he was a great fit for.
Great fit when he's not doing Guardians 3. Is it
right?
A great
and
fit
it sounds like. I mean, essentially, I think that he'll be doing pre-production stuff for Guardians 3 while he's doing post-production stuff for Suicide Squad. But you know, a good director can delegate a lot of that stuff and just send out a finished product.
I got to bring this up.
It's going to be years down the line at this point.
Before we go in, quick second. Ruru 2 brings up a great one to get shorts in. Princess Mononoke shorts with other gods. I know you don't watch anime, Icy. And have you even gotten through Princess Mononoke yet, Super?
I have, and God, It was brutal. Good, but brutal. I had nightmares about the maggots and on the pigs. Oh God.
And Masonic Vader joined us in the chat
This
room
is
on that.
Children's entertainment, right?
Oh, he can't hear us. He's muted because he got yanked away from the podcast. He was told he couldn't be on the podcast tonight. So it's going to take, going back on the other subject, it's going to take years before we get Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I mean, they are far along on starting production soon on Suicide Squad 2, though, from my understanding.
Yeah, I think it's slated to hit theaters in like late 2020, I think, something like that. So that means he can start pre-production on Guardians 3 in 2020, and then hopefully we see it by like 2022.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a while.
Because I don't know if he's going to be involved in the edit process. If he's involved in the edit process, it'll be a while. But if he's not involved in the edit process of Suicide Squad, then
because remember, the movie's already written, right? He already wrote the movie. It just needs to actually be filmed. Okay.
Yeah, and that was my thinking too. Was that he had already written. He had already written Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They were going to use his script, and then he was writing the treatment for Suicide Squad 2. And I was like, are there going to be little like Easter egg hints
right
from Guardians in Suicide Squad?
Call outs from one universe to another.
Yeah.
So
now you gotta assume that that's probably not going to happen because you don't want them to be too much alike.
Stallone's going to be in it too.
And that's my thinking is are we going to get 2 James Gunn films of the same type of stylized characters, or will we get a different core team characterization with Suicide Squad versus what we've had with Guardians? Because that's what I want. I want to make sure they're 2 separates if he's going to be doing both.
I like to think they would feel different. I mean,
I would like to think. I mean, they're completely different characters. They're villains. They're bad guys. I mean, will you see some snark? Probably, because I mean, it ran rampant in all the characters in Guardians, but it's going to be darker.
Yeah.
At the core, for as sad as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was at the end, you know, with the funeral, for the most part, they carry an element of fun and lightheartedness to them. And I don't think Suicide Squad will do that. And if it does, I'm going to be disappointed.
But Suicide Squad kind of had or try. It seemed like they were trying to copy Guardians.
Yeah.
In some moments. And Jack, I will let everybody here on the audio know, because he's so upset that we didn't bring up how easy it is to kill aliens, that you could just pee on them. And he's upset that we didn't mention a urine cannon wiping out all the aliens. Urine laced hollow points and xenomorphs just go pop. I don't understand how pee takes out aliens, but
apparently ammonia. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Ruru 2 says Harley Quinn will do a dance battle final fight, but the bad guy will just shoot her or something.
As soon as you said Harley Quinn will do a dance, I'm in.
And Guardians 3 needs to have Aisha again, and needs to introduce Warlock, and also needs to have a lot of Stallone with all those Ravengers in it. And that's, I thought that they were going to be like introducing potential for another series with Stallone's Ravagers, but
Stallone's getting kind of old.
He is.
Yeah, but he just has to be the guy commanding people. He doesn't have to like.
I'm just saying he has to live to 2022. Or
you have to yell at him and be like, "Go over there."
Yeah, you just a little low, you know.
I had heard through the internet grapevine that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is supposed to bring in Adam Warlock and have that be the main plot, I guess you could say, of 3.
Well, it seemed like I'm assuming Warlock was going to come in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because they've been planning Easter eggs of it for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't he the guy that's supposed to ultimately defeat Thanos anyway?
Infinity War, I believe, yeah. Marvel has the good DH tech; they'll make it work for Stallone.
Yeah, seriously, Nick Fury, Sam Jackson looked incredible in Captain Marvel. That was impressive.
He's never not a badass. Samuel L. Jackson. He was amazing in that movie. I loved it so much.
But yeah, I want to know if, with him going to do Guardians 3, I hope that it does involve a lot of the Stallone's crew, purely for the fact that I also listen to Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and he was one of the guys that's the backup crew there. And I just want to see more of him in the movie. I like that guy.
Yeah. No, I'm excited that he is doing it. I'm still excited for Suicide Squad, especially with Idris Elba in it now and stuff. So, and we've talked about that on the previous cast, that you can go check us out and listen to our previous cast, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Google, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Listen to us there. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to drop a review. If you guys want to really help support us, you can go to the website, malice-corp.com. If you're going to be purchasing anything from Amazon, click on any of the Amazon links on the website when you're there before you go and purchase your stuff. When you purchase your stuff, you're not paying anything different, but it helps us get a little bit back to help with website costs, and so that we can keep uploading these casts and have somewhere to put them for you. So, and we appreciate that. But yeah, the biggest thing I learned from this, and what made me so happy, was when I saw the announcement that Disney said that they won't have him start Guardians of the Galaxy 3 until Suicide Squad 2 is done, because it recalled back memories of X-Men 3 when Bryan Singer went to Superman. Yeah, that's exactly, because they made it in the universe that it didn't happen. They wiped out the X-Men 3 out of mind with
Good.
Days of Future Past. But when Fox was so mad at Singer for going and doing a competing comic book movie and Superman, which was near and dear to Singer because that's what he came up with, was with Richard Donner. He was a production assistant. He knew that universe. So getting to direct that was huge to him, and it was a terrible Superman film, but still, the factor that Fox got so mad about it that they rush jobbed X-Men 3 and gave it to Radner, and it just was god awful. After X2, which I think is still arguably the best X-Men movie, Futures Past is pretty good, but
Futures Past was really good too.
That was the biggest ease to me when I saw that, where it wasn't Disney going to be like, hey, we had you on contract for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 first, you better come over here and do it, or we'll just go find some.
They could have been a jerk about it,
Well, I like the fact that they reportedly never even actually approached any of the directors about doing it.
Yeah, they never.
Yeah, they never did.
Back their mind, like, nah, we're gonna get them back.
Yeah.
Turbo does not like the X-Men movies. I'm not gonna say what he said.
I disagree with that. The first two were good, and Days of Future Past was pretty good.
And Polyfuse, Logan is the best movie they did. Right? Yes, I agree. Logan is the best movie in that universe they did. Yes.
Yes.
But no, I thought X2 was really good.
I really liked X2
for the time. Think about it, before we got Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we had Spider-Man. Those were your big two beyond Batman films.
Yeah,
it was X2 and Spider-Man 2, because Spider-Man 1 still looks like Green Goblin is a Power Ranger to me, and I just can't get behind it.
But Spider-Man 2 was really good. Doc Ock was amazing. So.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that was the gist. I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were on James Gunn doing both, and that if there is a little fear of them blending in too much to being the same thing.
I hope not. I think he's smart enough to not do that. I think because he's a fairly decent writer. He's a fairly decent, So I think it'll be good. I pray that this Suicide Squad, it can't be any worse, in my opinion, than the first one was.
Oh no, we can't. And that was a comment that was brought up earlier, was that hopefully Gunn is part of the edits because they don't want to have the same thing happen with Suicide Squad as what happened. Suicide Squad 2 is what happened with Suicide Squad 1, where just the edit was horrendous. I still think with a proper edit that villain was so horrible that nothing would have saved it.
No.
Just dancing villain.
I could not even tell you the name of the villain. It was that forgettable to me. What was it? The witch? The enchantress?
The enchantress.
The enchantress.
Okay. It was just
so bad. I think I've erased it from my memory. I know
it was supermodel caterpillar eyes dancing around, being I'm bad.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Okay. Yeah. On that note, that's our cast for tonight.
Turbo Comics says there was too much leather on those X-Men. They look like they were going to ride on the back of Professor X's wheelchair in a Sturgis.
And we've kicked it back up with Jack Malice saying Leto was the worst part of the movie. If the Enchantress wasn't in it, I would agree with you, but that was such a bad villain.
When that is the crux of your movie, that villain, and the whole reason that you're getting the squad together to go take it out, you need that villain to be compelling. Leto, to me, he was barely in the movie. He couldn't ruin the movie because he was barely in it.
The comment,
was he stupid? The parts he was in, absolutely, it was garbage. But when your whole crux is focused on this villain, you want it to be compelling. You want it to be scary. You want it to feel like it's the end coming. And
the first time I heard the clip of Leto doing his Joker laugh was when I knew the movie was going to be bad.
Yeah.
Turbo
Comics.
He thinks he's Heath Ledger.
The opening of Suicide Squad 2, William Dafoe's Joker pushes Leto's Joker off a skyscraper and he explodes when hitting the sidewalk.
That would be funny.
Please give us that. That would be amazing. I want William Dafoe as a Joker. That would be amazing. Plus, he can have that creepy ass laugh.
Green Goblin laugh? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ruru 2 said Leto's Joker saved Hot Topic.
A lot of things saved. Pop culture in general saved Hot Topic.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's our cast. Thank you guys for joining us on tonight's cast. We record this live every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If there's some news articles you would like us to touch on, talk about, discuss with you in the chat room, head over to facebook.com/groups/all things nerd podcast and join our groups over there. Drop any type of cool, interesting stories you see, fun memes, gifs, interact with us. Or if you have Discord, make sure to come look us up. There's a Discord server for Malice Corp. That way you can interact with us anytime. And all of our podcasts are there to interact with as well, including our Smack Talk podcast and everybody else. So, yeah, that's the gist of it, to come hang out with us. With that being said, let's talk about where we can follow everybody. And then if you have a hashtag of the week to interact with people on Twitter, go ahead and give that as well. Super, where can people follow you?
Come follow me at Twitter at SuperHoovianNut, and then you can also follow me on Instagram at SuperHoovianFreak. And then for a hashtag, I don't really have a hashtag this week.
You don't have to have one every week. It's okay.
Yeah.
And they're talking about a good Leto role. I'll tell you best Leto, because Polyfuse says you want to see a good Leto role, see him in Lord of War.
Dallas Buyers Club, hands down.
Huh?
Dallas Buyers Club. He was amazing in that.
I still haven't seen Dallas Buyers Club, but you know what the best Leto role is? Fight Club, when he gets the crap
Angel face
out of him.
Yeah.
Just yeah. That all-time best Leto role. He says what, 2 lines the entire movie, and then just gets the hell beat out of him. That's perfect. That's what I would love to see from Leto films.
Just 30 seconds from Mars guy.
And Turbo Comics brings up My So-Called Life, which was a fantastic show. I will, yes, that got ended way too soon, way too early.
The people from it are still working. What's his name? Nelson is.
So he's done some. He's had some good roles. He's had a couple good roles. He was just really bad as the Joker.
And don't get me wrong, I know you guys are gonna get mad at me on this. I love 30 Seconds to Mars. So
and me too. Yeah,
I think his music's fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy 30 Seconds to Mars. He is a ass on stage because I've seen them live, and he literally threatened the audience that if they didn't get loud enough, he was just going to walk off stage. That he wasn't.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. That's what you want to hear at the concert.
So Jack, on my comment of liking 30 Seconds to Mars, said hashtag we need a new host. So they are opening for new hosts. If you guys want to host the All Things Nerd podcast, reach out to jackmalice@gmail.com and let him know what things alike that you guys have in common. If you both hate Superman, Nick Cage, and Leto in all assets, then you probably will be able to replace me as the host of the All Things Nerd podcast. I see. Where can people follow you?
At ICZoro on Twitter, Instagram, and PlayStation Plus.
Oh, Jack's getting serious with it. He's giving the actual email address. Jack.malice@gmail.com. So if you really want to host this cast, he's given the real email address. He's not joking around this time. He's ready to act. He says, please send your applications.
Get a Friday off every once in a while.
And then where can we follow you? Sorry.
I did that part already.
Did you have a
I'm just going to continue with the watch this bad movie hashtag because nobody's actually sent me any yet.
So hit up IC0 and tell him bad movies to watch. Hashtag
because I'll do it.
And he'll tell you how terrible it was and how terrible it was and you should why did you send him that movie to watch?
You send me bad movies and I guarantee I'll talk about it on the next cast.
If you want to follow this podcast, follow it at All Nerd Podcast on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter at Mest_Mest or on Instagram at Mest5150. My hashtag of the week has to tie in with what we were talking about before, and it's just hashtag short film series.
Short film series.
Yeah, hashtag short film series. Tell me
Potter short films you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
So many. Like I was just thinking, what good? I would love to know Luna's side of the war or after the war. Like we did not get enough with her character.
That would be fantastic. Give us some short films within the Harry Potter universe from up and comers. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, hashtag short film series, and let me know which ones over at Mest_MaliceCorp. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We will see you next week, and you keep nerding on.
Carry on.